Well, that's how we start things around here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everybody. How y'all doing? Good to see you all, as always. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Hump day. And it's time to get over the rest of the hump. Anybody feel like a hump? Sorry. I'm an idiot with a microphone, but this is the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we are going to burn through 2 full hours of the paranormal. And that means whatever the hell it means. Sometimes we don't really know. I've got some things pulled up to go through. This is a discussion here on the portal, and if you have something that you want to discuss, just put it all in capital letters, as long as it's paranormal related. That would be great. I obviously don't want to go through car maintenance or anything on this show, because you don't want my opinion on car maintenance, because I don't know how to maintain cars real well. But I know where the gas goes and where to take it for the oil and other problems. But other than that, yeah, car maintenance is my thing. But the paranormal kind of is. It's a journey I've been on for quite a long time, basically my entire life. But as far as interest goes, and experience or all of my adult life. But there's lots to get into. We're going to get into the news, obviously, right off the bat, and deal with some articles there on the news. And then we're going to get into some other hijinks. Probably figure that out as we go, but we're going to also get into the what the hell is that, where we look at some paranormal evidence, maybe quote evidence, maybe evidence without quotes, because it stands on its own accord. But we're going to let you guys vote on what you think is maybe legitimate and what you think maybe is a bunch of crap. There's no wrong answers. There's no right answers. It's just opinion. And I kind of figure, let us know what you think. Hey, Jay Song, miss you guys. I'm back on deck. I was away for a bit geographically. Well, welcome home. Glad to have you back, Jason. I appreciate it. I said Jay Song. Sorry, man. Sometimes I just am so used to sight reading everything. I don't stop and sound things out. It's like, oh, Jason G. But it's good to have you back, man. Hello over in Rumble. Car Juice and Barbara Moore are over there with me. And all you guys over on the YouTubes. Kitty Catawacks here. Jason G. Mark Eddie's here over on Facebook. Good to see you, brother. I was trying to watch a little bit of your live, but I didn't get a chance to really. But always a pleasure to see you guys live. I looked at a little bit of it, and I wish I could have sat and tuned in completely, but if you guys ever want to catch a great show, catch Third Eye Blind with Brian Bowden and Mark Eddy. Great guys. And got Benno and Wizard Moon and Chucky Danger all here. Chucky, of course, has his own show. That is The Danger Zone. You can tell from his icon. That's his podcast, and it's available on Spotify, so check it out as well. Was that a D-hole event? My whole life is a D-hole event. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't sound so defeatist. Great show. I was there, Benno says. Cool. Very cool, Benno. Thank you. But hello to everybody else. Let's see who else is here if I can see quick. Adventures with Beth is here. The Unknown is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Jose is in the house. Where else? Just a few of you in so far, but it's growing all the time. I'm just trying to see what new names. I thought I saw one of the Deborahs, but there is a Deborah here. Which one? Which Deborah is here? I didn't see it yet. Da-da-da-da-da. Sharon Sunshine is here. Good to see you, Wizard Moon. Deborah Neighbors is the Deborah that's here, because I've got Deborah Varner and Deborah Neighbors, both spelled the same way for Deborah, which is very interesting. I'd never seen that name spelling before I met Deb Varner, and now I've seen 2 of them with Deb Neighbors. So there you go. I think that's everybody. T-Bone was the first one in tonight, and then Rachel was here as well right off the bat, so great to see you both. Coming in and turning on the lights and getting everything ready for the show. Appreciate it, guys. HB Girl to you is over on Rumble as well. Good to see you, as always. And, there's just a lot going on. So hopefully you've been having a good week, all in all. I know it's been an unusual week for the news in the world. Thank God we don't cover that same kind of news here on the show. Usually it's a lot different than that. But at any rate, all I can do is just, people are going absolutely batshit crazy anymore. And I just hope people remember that, it's so easy to draw lines and draw boundaries and borders and us and thems and stuff. And I really get nervous about that because I think we're better than that. I think we're better than just discarding entire segments of our population just because they don't agree with the same things we agree with, or vice versa. And that to me is so tragic. And I just hope that common sense and decency will win out, and all of this propaganda and artificial inflaming people's emotions will go away. I wish it would go away, because there's a lot of people playing your emotions like a flute, and it's pretty scary that so many are falling for it. They're just all in on the hate and on the rhetoric and on the distrust and the bullshit. And I just really worry about the state of things. Obviously as a parent, my children will inherit this world once we're all done with it, and I don't know what we're going to be leaving them, with all this anger and hatred and boundaries and borders and vitriol, and it's just really concerns me. And I don't try to ever get political on here. I don't think I'm being political now. I'm just speaking to people to try to live from your heart, because there's a lot of people that'll have you live from your fear, and they're posting stuff all the time trying to appeal to your fear. And we're never going to get anywhere if we live and make choices from a place of fear. And I'm not saying anti anything. I'm not saying any of that. Come to your own conclusions based on what you know, but don't discard everybody else that doesn't agree with you. We're not a monoculture of thought. We were never meant to be. We were never meant to be a monoculture of thought. It's good to have ideas. It's good to have differing viewpoints. That's what makes us great. I mean, that's what makes us dynamic. It's kind of like the question of the week. I can think of, a lot of things on my own, but with your guys' help, it's just, I get so much more of a picture of this phenomena just based on what you guys think. So don't be afraid to look beyond all of the propaganda. And there's just a shitload of it out there right now. And it really does have me concerned. I'm really worried for a lot of reasons. And, I just know we can do better. So I don't mean to preach, take it or leave it. Call me an idiot if you want, that's fine too. But just know that we're making a train wreck out of things in a hurry, because we're allowing other people to orchestrate our emotional responses. And that's not okay. That's not okay. So come from your heart. Just come from your good place inside. Don't listen to, everybody else's charged opinions. But just do better. Just do better, please. All right, so that's me getting done preaching. That's me getting done preaching. That's all I got. Let's get to something a little more entertaining than my opinions. Well, I got a microphone. Sometimes I'm going to use it just, because it's I don't have a huge voice in the world. But I do got a little voice. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to use what voice we have to try to bring people back to sense and logic and reason. So just follow your heart. Just follow your heart. Don't listen to the D-holes. Yeah, there's a ton of D-holes out there. All right, so let's get to the first aspect of our show, every show. And that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is the news. All right, let's get to the news. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the news desk here on the Paranormal Portal. And we're going to get into some articles here. I got 3 articles pulled up for us to explore throughout the journey tonight on our Wednesday Hump Day celebration. This is the day where you just arc towards the weekend. So we got that going for us. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I use a lot of different sites and articles throughout the course of these shows. And I just want to continue to ask you guys, please support these sites. Please visit them. Please give them your love and attention and traffic, because your traffic does equal revenue and keep the lights on these amazing sites. There's just nobody doing it better. And I just gotta support that. They make my show sound awesome because of all the incredible work they do. So just support them. Not the newsy news. It is the new Danus, Stony. All right, let's get to the articles. I have, obviously, if you've been familiar with the show at all, you'll know that unexplained-mysteries.com is the news site that I always love and lean on, and they always have some amazing articles. So, again, if you're not checking out this site, you're missing out on a ton of information. But here we go, coming from... I don't know why people think things like this, but anyway, coming from unexplained-mysteries.com is our first news story. This one's kind of different. I haven't seen a story like this in a long time, but I think it's a good discussion point. But anyway, here we go. Because according to an astrophysicist, he believes that he knows where heaven is located. Huh? Well, it's just out there nested in the stars, of course. We just need a big enough ship and we can all get there. It's not how it works. Anyway, let's see what it says. I'm kind of curious where this guy's coming from because, anyway, I'll get into my own thoughts on it at the end of the article. All right, here we go. One Harvard scientist maintains that heaven not only exists, but that he might know exactly where it can be found. Really? Wow. Okay. At first glance, astrophysics and religion might not seem to be compatible, but for Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Michael Geilen, the two came together in some surprising ways. To understand what Dr. Geilen is proposing, we must first look at the universe on a wider scale, or more specifically, the speed at which the universe is expanding. Because this expansion is thought to be accelerating, the further away from the Earth you go, the faster that expansion is occurring. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I don't think it's, I think it's the further away from the center of the galaxy. That's where the expansion is, or the universe, the center of the universe. The further away you get from that, the faster the expansion will be happening. It's not because we're just kind of rotating on the cusp of, the edge of the so I'm thinking of universes I'm thinking of galaxies rather than universes. Sorry. Okay. Fair enough. Whatever. But anyway, if you go out far enough, the point known as the cosmic horizon, things are receding away from us so quickly that the light from them will never reach us and we will never be able to see them. There you go. This means that there's an absolute limit to what astronomers will ever be able to observe. Most astronomers maintain that objects beyond this point are not otherwise noteworthy, save for the fact that we can't see them, but Dr. Geilen has an altogether different perspective on this. He argues that in this region of the universe that we cannot see, there is no past, present, or future, only timelessness. I don't think it's specific to that region, but okay. As a scientist, I understand the importance of definitions, he wrote in an opinion piece for Fox News. According to the Bible, the lowest level of heaven is Earth's atmosphere. The mid-level heaven is outer space. The highest level heaven is what we're talking about. It's where God dwells. Okay. Dr. Geilen maintains that this region matches descriptions of heaven in the Bible and could be inhabited by non-material timeless beings, otherwise known as the spirits of the dead. It's certainly a unique premise, but with no way to see what's beyond the cosmic horizon, we will probably never know for sure what's really there. Yeah, see, I don't know. This is the viewpoint, like a separation viewpoint, that somehow we're all intrinsically separated from that divine presence, and therefore it has to be found, and it's somewhere in this, what we understand as the universe. that somewhere in this universe resides this special plane or place called heaven, and of course, it's the throne of the divine. And I don't think it works like that at all. I think that, God, we are all ideas in the mind of God. Like we are this universe, we're part of this universal construct. And there is no separation. It's all interconnectedness, and we're woven into it. You don't have to find in a physical place. You've got to find your path to the divine in within you and through your development. But I don't know. It's interesting. To me, it's a very archaic view of what, where God is and what heaven is and stuff. I just don't think that is the construct that we exist in. I think we exist in and within, and we're embedded in what is God. But anyway, doesn't mean we're not idiots. We're still idiots. But at least we're probably well taken care of. You can still choose poorly, of course, on anything. But, I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but I just don't. I don't understand the whole concept. Like, well, you see, you go up to the third star to the right there, and that's where the gateway to heaven is. That's where it starts. I don't think that's how it works. But anyway, what do I know? Nothing. But those are my thoughts. And since I got the microphone, you get those too. All right, that was the first one. I guess it's the good part is that it's neat to see that there is a astrophysicist who's at least, he's at least recognizing that there is a spirituality, or that he wants to understand that spiritual connectedness. And so he's trying to do it very much in a physical framework, which I think you'll be looking all day long, because you can't find the spirit through the body. You can find the spirit through your spirit. Maybe that wasn't the best way to put it, but you know what I mean. You're not going to find, you can look outside or inside and find God. I mean, it's like we're just swimming in this presence that's the divine. So that's my take on it. I don't know if anyone agrees or anybody, but that's what I think it is. All right. Karen Alberting says, I choose poorly all the time. Except my hubby. He's the best. He is the best. Yeah, Neil's great. You guys are great. All right, so that was the first one. Kind of a, thought-provoking one. I don't know what you guys think. I guess it depends on people's viewpoints. I shouldn't be so absolute about, the opinions on that, because they're my opinions, but, other people have other ideas of this, and it doesn't make anybody right or wrong. It's just, I just don't think we can be separate from the divine. I think that because we're alive shows that we're connected to it. It's like, we're like a string of lights. And the divine is the charge that makes us shine. And if we're alive, we're connected to the divine. Even if we're dead, we're connected to the divine. But you know what I'm saying? It's like we're not separate from it. We get lost in ourselves and in our own egos, but we're not separate from that. It is all through us. But anyway, just my ideas. Anyway, I'll shut up now and get to the next one. Let's go to the next article, because there's always more. And here it is, the next one. This one is kind of wild. I don't know if any of you guys have heard those stories about some orcas out there were attacking boats. Killer whales were like actively attacking and trying to sink boats. I think it was over in the Mediterranean, but I don't know for sure. But it's been some pretty crazy stuff. There's some rogue group of killer whales just suddenly started attacking boats, like smashing their rudders and going after the hulls and just going absolute ape on them. And nobody's really sure what's going on, but it seems like they hate boats, like suddenly a lot. And maybe some of their family members or a young one got run over by a prop boat and just sliced it up. Who knows? Enough to make them hate, but at least hate boats. But here's what's going on that's kind of a newer development, and I just heard about this today when I read the headline, but let's check this one out. From the Nature Environment Files, rogue orcas that attack boats have their own language, study finds. Wow, that's kind of wild. So even if there were other orcas out there, they wouldn't really understand what these guys were doing. just by listening. They couldn't just eavesdrop and go, "Oh, wait, they're going after boats." The discovery is so unexpected that it's been likened to suddenly finding a new human language in the middle of Europe. For several years now, a pod of gladiator orcas headed up by a female known as White Gladys have been responsible for a spate of attacks on boats in the Strait of Gibraltar, resulting in numerous cases of snapped rudders, broken hulls, and other damage costing millions of dollars in repair. Now researchers who have been investigating the animals have made it a rather startling discovery. The orcas in question seem to have developed their own unique language that doesn't sound different to other orca communications. Doesn't just sound different to other orca communications, but it's also structurally different as well. Ooh. The findings were made by using underwater acoustic equipment to listen out for their calls. We've been studying these orcas for 30 years, study co-author Dr. Renaud de Stefanis told The Times. Until now, they were thought to be very silent, but now we've learned that their calls are totally different to any others. From a cultural conservation point of view, that's just amazing. It's like suddenly finding a new human language in the middle of Europe. It just said that. Dr. Stefanis also emphasized the structural differences between this and other orca calls. It's like the difference between Arabic and Latin, he said. Around 40 individuals were thought to speak this language, with around 15 of those being responsible for the attacks on boats. Right now, the prevailing theory is that the attacks aren't actually intended as hostility, but that the orcas instead treat such behavior as a sort of game for their own amusement. How their unique language fits into the mystery, however, remains unclear. Well, there you go. They got their own language, and they're doing their own thing. It's not what we'd like them to do, but, yay, individualism. There you go. I don't know. That was new to me. Was it new to you? Maybe you never heard that before. Maybe you did, but at any rate, that's one other part of the news. Let's get to another article here in just a moment. All right, here we go with the third and final article, and this is coming from Modern Mysteries. Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about this. I pulled it up and I didn't really know what I was pulling up, but here we go. Texas authorities warn of new spike in mystery seed deliveries. So I don't know if you guys heard about this, but apparently people were getting mailed these weird seeds that they didn't order. They were just getting mailed seeds. And these seeds have been really suspect. And I don't know if they're like some part of some weird, threat thing where it's like a kill seed kind of thing or whatever. But at any rate, let's read the article and we'll all get a good background on it again. Someone has been delivering mystery seed packets to Texas residents, and it's by no means the first time. It's a phenomenon that has been ongoing for years. Residents across the state of Texas have been receiving deliveries of packets containing unidentified seeds from an unknown sender. We've reported on this before, even as far back as 2020, when local distributors in the state had started to report receipt of mysterious seed packets. According to Texas Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller, there has been another sharp spike in such deliveries this month as well. These packages are pouring in faster and further than before, he said. One invasive species, pest, or pathogen could devastate Texas farms, ranches, natural resources, and food supply. Anyone in Texas who receives such a delivery has been asked not to open the seeds, but to instead report the matter to the Agriculture Department. Previous investigations have revealed that at least some of the packets may have come from China, but it's also possible that the sender address has been fabricated. Some of the seeds themselves have been identified as water lilies, an aggressive plant that can quickly cover the surface of entire lakes. As things stand, it's unclear why the state of Texas has been disproportionately targeted, who's sending the seeds and what they are hoping to gain by doing so. Let's check this out. This is from KETK NBC in, I guess it's Texas. Let's check out this video.
State officials are warning Texans to look out for mysterious packages popping up on doorsteps. Some of them are seeds and may pose a threat to our agricultural ecosystem. Sound familiar? Yeah, the first package of the most recent bout from China containing unidentified seeds like the one seen on your screen, and an unknown liquid was reported in Clute back in February of last year. But since then, the TDA has collected more than 1,000 seed packages from across the state, with the last collection being on December 29th. Now, if you receive any packages you did not order, do not open them and immediately report any instances to the TDA.
Well, there you go. I don't know. It's like, I don't think that's how fentanyl gets here. Ooh, my fentanyl seeds arrived. I don't think you grow that stuff, but in any case, that's kind of scary. I mean, who's doing it? What are they doing? What are they trying to introduce? Invasive species, it can be absolutely catastrophic, but hopefully enough people are seeing this that it kind of gets kiboshed. But some idiot's going to go out there and sprinkle them in their yard. You know it's going to happen. Somebody's going to do it, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, well, tune into the show. You'll figure it out. We'll educate you, but this has all been a production of the Paranormal Portal News. I hope you guys learned something. Hope you're leaving the news with a new, fresh batch of knowledge and entertainment and value in every show. And it's the start of every show. So let's get back to the rest of this show. Let's go. Do you like my beatboxing? You never know what you're going to get. Every episode is a brand new experience. Yeah. Okay, so I thought what we might do now is something that we did just a week or two ago. And you guys seemed very interested in it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's something I've done before on the show several times through the history of the show. But you might remember as I start explaining what I'm talking about here, we sometimes open up the BFRO, which is Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, Matt Moneymaker's group, which is a repository for people's encounters to get, recorded. And I know there's some controversy with the BFRO, but again, I think it's a great service and it's a great source of knowledge. Maybe you'll only get a certain kind of report, like they don't really field any of the woo reports where people experience something a little more esoteric in the Bigfoot field, but they do get a lot of A, B, and C encounters. A, of course, is right in front of you. There it is. There's a Bigfoot, or at least visual. B can be calls or footprints, and C's, I don't know. Maybe C's are more like, trees, and maybe that's more footprints, but B's are more like calls and hearing something in the distance and stuff. At any rate, I usually look for the A encounters because to me, those are the most interesting. I think the other encounters they could be legitimate or they could be misunderstood. Any number of things. If you don't see something, it's a little harder to quantify it. But if you're actually seeing something big, hairy, and bipedal in the woods and, able to corroborate that with other activity, then that's pretty powerful. So I like to focus on the A's, but what we do is I tell you guys, hey, we're going to go through the BFRO tonight, and why don't you guys give me a state and a county, a state and a county, and we'll look at the repository of BFRO and find, well, if we can't find the county, we'll find a county in that state and discuss a few of the reports, or at least one of them. But the object is to cover as much ground as we can and to hopefully show you what might be going on in your state. So any of you provinces too, yeah, I think there's some Canadian reporting on here. I don't know for sure where. I do have this pulled up. I don't have the Canadians. Oh, here's Canadian. Yeah, we can do provinces too as well. So if there's a Canadian province you want to look into, sure, let me know. So what do we got? All right. First off is, well, it looks like New Jersey from Aussie Boss Tigers asking about New Jersey. New Jersey? All right. Let's see, because New Jersey is, of course, home to the Pine Barrens. And I know Eric Spinner is a researcher over there in the Pine Barrens looking for Bigfoot. He is also a BFRO investigator. So, wonderful guy. But let's see. Did you have, Brent Thomas, there's something black just below your nose? Oh. What is that? Oh, you know what it is? It's from my earphones. I'll show you. These earphones, I've had them for years. And they used to have like a faux leather on them. And it kind of scrapes off. And then I get it on my hand. And then if I rub my nose. So it's not a booger. It's a piece of this. There's a... Oh, did I get it? I'm trying to show you a piece, but I tried to scrape them all off so I could not be shedding black specks all over the place. But that's what it is. It's from my earphones. Thanks for the heads up, though. Yep, not shedding any boogies that I know of. Thanks, guys. But, all right, so New Jersey, what do we got for a county? Anybody? It looks like the most reports are coming from Burlington or Sussex. And it was on the last show, too. It was there on the last show, too. Oh, it looks like it's still there. What the hell is that? Oh, you know what it is? I cut myself shaving. Oh, yeah, got a bloody little finger. I shaved just before the show. My skin's not as conditioned for shaving up here because I had the mustache for so long. So I thought it must have been one of those black things, but it was a scab. I think it's okay now, though. Well, it's probably going to come back, but there you go. All right. So, $10 from T-Bone's. Oh. My little kitten's been on my board, and he slid the volume all the way down there. But thank you, T-Bone, for the donation. $10 Canadian for the headphone cause. Thank you, brother. But it wasn't that. There's actually a shaving. Yeah, there it comes back again. So it's just gonna be there. Nothing I can do about it. New Jersey, let's look at Burlington, since I didn't see a county. So sorry about that if you said one, Aussie. Right off the top, the most recent report is from Class A. It's a 2019 report. So let's see what this one is. All right, let's see what it is. Here we go. Okay, so this is what the person observed. On June 20th at approximately 6:40 p.m., I was traveling on Route 563 south of Chatsworth near Franklin Parker Preserve Speedwell entrance. I was looking to see what the parking situation was there for a future hike, so my eyes were on the right side of the road when out of the periphery, I saw what I thought was a groundhog on the left. It was, how big are groundhogs? They're just little dinky things. But he says it was very large, and I realized that it would have to be a huge groundhog, so I looked fully to the left, and I saw an approximate 3 to 3.5 foot tall creature stand up on two legs as I passed by. I did not get a good look at the face, and I almost continued, but I decided to turn around about 150 yards up the dirt road that's up on a dirt road that's on the right. I pulled in, turned around, and headed back to the location, and there's a bend in the road there, and it bends around to the right on the way back as I made it past the bend. Approximately 30 yards in front of me, the creature was still there. It was now fully turned towards me, and I could see that it looked like a cross between Curious George and the character Chaka from the Land of the Lost. Its face, hands, as well as the top of its feet were hairless and a light tan in color. The fur was covered with a golden brown, a little darker than golden retriever, very much like the color of a groundhog. I could not see the nose when I locked eyes with it. I could not see the whites, just big dark brown eyes. It stood there for a second or two when I rounded the bend, and then took off running back into the swamp area. It ducked behind a short bush, and when I drove past it, I could no longer see it. Well, I turned the car around again, and when I went by again, it was gone. I waited there a bit to see if I could see anything moving in the field, and I couldn't, so I took off. It was a couple days before I shared the experience with my family and friends. In that period of time, I thought for sure someone was going to report a missing kid in a Halloween costume. When the thing took off running, it was fast. I would describe it the fastest kid on the 10 to 12-year-old baseball team. We had really bad storms that night, and my commute was a disaster. It poured all through that area, and I thought it was odd because that the thing I saw appeared to be dry. Well, at least the fur was. And he also noticed there was a lot of bad downpours and storms, nothing else unusual. No other witnesses, no other stories. It was about 6:40 p.m. So that's the first one. All right. Very cool. Very cool. So that was New Jersey. Well, what do we got for another state? State or Paulding County, Georgia. Paulding County, Georgia. All right, let's check out Georgia. Georgia. Where's Paulding? Paulding County. Okay. Oh, there we go. 9 reports. Looks like the most recent one is from 2015, but let's take a look at Paulding County, Georgia. Let's look for the most recent Class A. There's Bs. There's a couple Bs from 2015 and 2012, the October 2011 Class A. Let's look at that one. Let's see what it says. There you are. All right, from 2011, so about, 15 years ago? God, it doesn't seem like it should be that long ago that 2011 happened. 15 years. Wow. I'm getting old fast. All right, anyway, let's continue as I go into this downward spiral. Oh, my God. Everything sucks. All right, I was driving on Old Cattersville Road towards Highway 61, just past the chicken farm, but before the pond. You know, this is totally written by a local. He's writing every local. Yeah, you go past the chicken farm there, and on the right, it's the barn. Turn at the barn. I had my 13-year-old son with me. I saw what I thought was a bear crouched down on the right side of the road. Well, I turned to tell my son to look at the bear. My son was in the back seat. Before I could turn back around all the way, I noticed that it stood up on 2 legs. My son was asking me what it was. And then I noticed it was over 7 foot 6 inches tall, covered in long black hair. That's pretty specific measurement. How does he know it was over 7 foot 6 inches tall? I mean, if you say it must have been 7.5 foot. Okay. Or was getting seemed to be close to 8 feet. Okay. But 7 foot 6 inches is very specific. That's unusual. Covered in long black hair, and it was burly. It was all of 500 to 600 pounds, and it was no more than 20 to 30 yards outside our truck window. It was so large, I could see its muscles in its legs and thighs. Its head appeared to sit on its shoulders like it had no neck. The head looked like it came to a point. It looked like a bipedal ape. It had something white in its hand, and that's when it registered it had hands and not claws. The arms were longer than any human arms. They seemed to stretch closer to the knee area. When it walked, the knees worked perfectly. It did not have a bow-legged effect, which made it seem human, but it looked like an ape. It started to move towards the road, walking on 2 legs. When my lights stayed on it, it seemed to want out of my lights. And when it walked for the road, it was headed in the path of my truck. I was on a small curve, so my lights followed it. I hit my fog lights and it turned back from the direction it came. It picked up speed and started to run on 2 legs. I could see the footfalls and the thigh muscles bounce. Also saw butt muscles flexing under the hair. It started moving so fast, the white thing in its hand was almost a blur. The next day, I returned to the area, and where it ran off into the woods was uphill. I thought it was flat as fast as it was moving. The house close by had chicken coops with white and brown chickens in it. There you go. That explains the white. Maybe. Probably. They love a good chicken farm. They love that stuff. Again, the structure that we checked out here, Don and I, along with City Goodbreak. I mean, there was the family had 29 chickens, and they were down to 9. They were just disappearing. More and more every day were just disappearing. And there was no blown feathers or anything. They were just gone. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Because if a predator grabs a chicken, it's dispatching it right away. When chickens go down, they get frantic and they blow feathers. They just blow feathers. So, yeah, I don't know. Very strange. But I went over that structure here on the show not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, I think. But it was a fascinating structure. Find my Instagram and you can find pictures of that structure. Just very cool. Very, very cool stuff. That's a cool report. Again, chickens, yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. They just get missing. So there you go. That was Paulding, Georgia, Dallas, Georgia, nearest town, Dallas. Okay, I didn't know there was a Dallas, Georgia. I'm today old. That's when I learned it. Okay, let's go to another state. Give me another suggestion. I already got that one. If you're new here, well, oh, thank you, Rachel. That's a great message. Owl's here. Good to see you, Owl. All right, I got to get way down here. Oh, the unknown. Thank you, brother. I'll donate a little to the new headset. Actually, the headset is fine. I just didn't want to replace those pads again. I've replaced them a few times, because I'm not the most diligent shaver. So I always have some scruff. I just don't like shaving. But I had some scruff, and that's what starts the flaking on the cover over here. So then underneath that fake leather, it's like a fabric, which is fine. I'm okay with it. The headphones work great, but yeah, I wasn't really going to replace them. But thank you, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm looking for the next state. What do we got? Hey, D-Ocean, good to see ya. Looking for the next state. I'm scrolling here through the chat. Anybody over in Rumble got a state? I don't see it. Barbara says Nevada. Panguitch County, Utah. Grand County, Utah. Both are in southern Utah. Okay. Well, let's look at Utah for you, Barbara. We're going to check out Utah next. Over in Rumble, Barbara says, check out Utah. By God, I'm about to make that happen. So which was it? Penguin? Paiute? I don't even see Penguin County. What did she say? Panguitch County, Utah. I don't even see a listing for Panguitch. That's weird. Here's Utah.
Alexander.
Alexander? Is there an Alexander? No, there's no Alexander in Utah either, apparently, for county. So I don't see that one. What was the other one? Grand County, Utah? Oh, there's Grand, but there's no reports in Grand County, Utah as it exists. None in Iron, Joab, or Kane, and none in Wayne. However, since we're looking at Utah, we got the most reports either in Summit or Weber, so let's check out Summit. See what they got cooking there in Summit, Utah. There's an A from 2004. Yeah, we can check that out. Why not? Okay, 2 elk hunters. Interesting. That should be a good one. Here we go. All right, so this is from 2004, the fall of 2004, in the month of October. Date, September. The month of October, date of September. Okay, not sure how that math works, but that's maybe something in Utah. It's a CWMU known as Thousand Peaks. All right, Chalk Creek Road is the nearest road. Coleville is the nearest town. I was hunting elk with my brother-in-law up in Chalk Creek, and that is in Summit County, Utah. We'd been in this deep canyon for some time, and it was getting dark, so we headed out of it. Headed out of it, I think they meant. I can still see this in my head. We were climbing out of a small draw onto a flat meadow. As we got to the top of it, we both saw something very black in color move into a small stand of pine trees. It let out a huge woof sort of sound as it went in, but it also moved a pine bough that flipped from the ground to about 5 feet into the air. My bro-in-law said, "What the heck was that?" Yeah, really. And as he put a shell into the chamber, this stand of pines was no bigger than the front yard. There's a clearing behind it, and I've thought on this for some time, and I think that we came in contact with it, and we surprised each other. The creature was to our left, and we had a beaver dam to our right. The thing was about 30 feet away from us in the pines, and we were on a deer path between the pond and the pines. We backed up, and this thing let out a low guttural growl at us. You can hear its teeth chatter also. I've felt fear in my life, but a sense of evil came over me. On the way home, we talked about what we had seen, and we were so close to this thing. I know for a fact it was not a bear or a moose. Bear does not move that fast on its hind legs. I used to work at Lagoon in Farmington. It's an amusement park, and we used to feed the animals down there. They had a leopard that would growl at you when you walked by its cage. That growl was almost just like what I'd heard on that mountain. I've been in the hills all my life, and I've never seen or heard anything like that. Please give me a call. I think that's fascinating. Yeah, territorial display, I guess. You got too close. Yeah, probably surprised them. Probably. Interesting. Well, there you go. That was Utah. So let's finish up Utah there. That's Utah as well. There we go. All right. What do we got? Anybody else? Supernatural Station says Colville. Did you want me to check Colville? Okay, let me look back at Utah here. Let's check out Colville for Jaron. Supernatural Station podcast. Here we go. Colville. Colville's a town, though. Yeah, Colville was a town. So I don't know what that was also in Summit, I guess. Okay. Yeah, anyway, we can't really check that out. I just realized Colville was the name of the closest town. So there we go. What do we got? Nunavut. What is Nunavut? Why ghosts don't have children? Because they're Halloweenies. Josie, you are the most unique chatter I think I've ever seen. I've only ever met one Josie in my chat. And by that I mean only one person like you. Sometimes you meet people that are very similar to other people you know, but I can honestly say I don't know anybody else like you, Josie. I'm extraordinarily dry tonight. Ugh. Can't wait for the spring. I'm ready. All right. A little throat burp there. All right. What do we got? Anything in Sudbury, Ontario? Well, we can look. Let's see. Is that a county? Sudbury? Let's look at Ontario first. There's 68 reports coming out of Ontario. Ontario, of course, is like right above Minnesota, Michigan in there. So Minnesota and Michigan. Then there's Quebec, Newfoundland, New Brunswick. Yeah. And all the way over here. All right. Ontario. What was that? Anything in Sudbury? I don't know. I don't know how you'd find out, honestly. But we'll read the most recent A-class report on the BFRO from Ontario. And this is kind of shorter. But it says this is from summer, August the 15th in Ontario, Canada in 2008. I just woken up and it was a lovely sunny August morning. So I pulled up the blind and looked out the window on the second floor of the back of our cabin. I said to my husband, "There's a man walking through our woods." And he said, "Let's go and see who it is." And then it happened. I suddenly felt really fearful and said, "No." Well, after that statement, I've been replaying the site like a full internal video, with plenty of questions in my mind, like there were no clothes, and now I'm glad to find your site. As soon as I looked out and saw a large dark figure stride out of the forest and into a small grass clearing about 40 to 50 meters from the back of our cabin, the figure was over 6 feet and was mostly medium brown with the different colored brown patches and one patch of hay-colored yellow on its side that stood out in the sun. Well, it walked with a fluid grace and in 3 long strides crossed that whole clearing. Then it turned to face towards me for a split second, and it had a dark, grayish, flat face, which to me had no brown patches. Also noticed late in the morning we heard crashes and breaking twigs in the forest behind our cabin, and then later we had a rail come from the swamp, screaming and petrified in a way that I've never heard before. I'm not sure what a rail is. I don't know. What is a rail? Let's see. I'm going to have to Google that quickly. What is a rail? Animal. Oh, it's like a bird. Okay. Yeah, it's like a bird. So there was a bird screaming and coming out of the muck. Okay. Yeah, I suppose that didn't go well. Maybe it was on the menu. Maybe that's why it was there. Maybe that's what the Bigfoot was after. I don't know. Creepy stuff, though, all the same. So there you go. Interesting. Interesting, though. All right, let's see if we can do a couple more states. Let's close out Ontario. That's what we got for Ontario. Oh, shoot. I went one too far. BFRO.net. There we go. All right, here we are. Okay, what's next? I got to blow this up a little bit, though. I'm not going to update this just yet. There we go. Make it a little bigger so I can read it a little easier. Johnston County, North Carolina. All right, North Carolina, what do we got for Beth? I'm just doing whatever ones pop out. Actually, North Carolina's got a ton of sighting reports. Oregon's got 262, 131 from Pennsylvania, 469 from California. No, Florida's got a bunch. Florida. Where's my freaking... There we go. 347 from Florida. Wow. Yeah, looks like California's number one. What about Washington? Oh, 731 from Washington State. Jeez. That's incredible. So we're looking at where? I forgot. I forgot where I was supposed to be looking. Sorry about that. Oh, Johnston County, North Carolina. All right, North Carolina. Where are you? There you are. Let's see what's going on in Johnston County. If anything, some of them don't have any reports, as you can see. Not all of them have reports. So, where's Jay? There it is. There's actually one. Only one report in Johnston. I guess whatever report it is. It's a Class A. It's from 2002. Nighttime sighting by a man and his sister on a road near Smithfield. Now, I'm going to say it again. I've said it hundreds of times on the show. The next great footage of a Bigfoot is definitely going to come from a dash cam. It's going to definitely come from a dash cam. I'm just convinced. I'm just waiting for that footage to show up because it probably exists out there already, but somebody just doesn't know what to do with it. All right, here we go. This is Smithfield and Cleveland Community are the nearest towns in Johnston County, North Carolina, from 2002 summer, which is July 14th. All right, let's see what's happening here. I live on 1010 highway near Johnston County Airport. It's kind of a country road, a couple of swampy areas and such, a good hunting area, you could say. I was on my way back from the beach at my dad's house. My sister was with me. I'm 24 and she's only 15. Well, anyway, I just turned out of the local barbecue place for some food. White Swan, open 24 hours, little plug, to head home, and I got past the local livestock building and turned onto 210 highway, drove about 3 to 4 minutes, turned onto 1010 or Cleveland Road, And there was an old car parked on the side of the road, so I could hardly see to turn left. So when I did, I drove for maybe 10 to 15 seconds when I saw eyes in front of me. It was about 9:15 in the PM, and I turned lights on bright. I thought it was a homeless man walking along the road, but seeing someone walking down here when it's dark is unlikely. Well, I slowed down. I didn't know if it was going to cross the road. I was driving about 35 in a 45 miles per hour zone. As I got closer, I noticed it was not a man. It was something else. Like a bear walked up right in with long legs and arms longer than any man. I had dark hair and I couldn't really see the color very well. He was about as big as my grandfather, and he is 6'11". Jeez, that's a big grandfather. I was speechless, and my sister was scared to death because our house is 1 minute from where he was at. Well, that night I couldn't sleep, and the next morning I got up and went back there. There were no footprints or anything because it was just so dry here from no rain. I haven't seen it since, but it's only been a few days. Crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Yep, road sightings are just definitely the most common. And that's definitely, I really believe that's where the next great evidence is going to come from. I might be wrong. I mean, it's possible there, somebody will catch something on camera out in some field somewhere, or some hunter on a game cam or something. But I just think that road sightings are definitely one of the most common sightings of Bigfoot, just bar none. They are way heads and shoulders above most of them. So interesting stuff. What do we got next? We'll do another one. Oh, Josie says Maine. What county in Maine, Josie? Do you have a county you'd like to suggest? Let me know in the chat if you could. Waiting for Josie's Maine. Penobscot County, Maine, or Abstook County, Maine. All right, let's check those out. All right, we'll go to Maine. Let's close this. Let's go to Maine. 24 reports in the whole state of Maine, which seems a little anemic, honestly. Penobscot has 2. Piscataqui has 1. I hope I pronounced that right. Piscataqui. Where was that? Or no, she says Penobscot or Aroostook. Oh, there's 1 there. So I guess we'll look at Penobscot first. Wait, we should look at the most recent. 2020 versus 2023. Let's look at the Aroostook one. That's a little newer. All right, let's see it. What is it? Class A. This is a good one. Okay. Means somebody saw one. Let's take a look. This is from December 18th of 2023 in the winter. Let's take a look. The residents do not want us to post their address or use their last names. Fair enough. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the actual narrative. Quite a bit of narrative. A big storm blew in around 7 a.m. and didn't move off until about 12:30 a.m. Well, it knocked out power in our home sometimes around 7 p.m. Sorry, I'm reading terribly. We have a chicken coop about 40 feet away from our house, and it's about 2 feet off the ground and about 12 feet by 20 feet, with an entrance door that used to be the front door to our home. Well, it was about 8:30 p.m., sunset's around 3:30 this time of year, when I was shining my flashlight out an upstairs window, when I saw a dark silhouette standing in front of my coop. The top of its head was in line with the top of the coop door. It was very muscular, broad-shouldered, long upper arms, with proportionately shorter lower legs. It was too narrow at the hips to be a bear. We had black bear and her cubs den near our house a few years ago, but this was nothing like her shape. I moved the flashlight to try to get a better look, and it disappeared from view. The chicken coop is covered in white siding. There is no mistake that this was bipedal. It was facing me when I first shined the light on it. It turned to run off just before I moved the flashlight. Given that an average door is about 7 feet high and the coop is 2 feet off the ground, That would put it around 9 feet tall. Wow. That's pretty enormous. What had me looking outside was a sound that I heard on the wind that alarmed me to my core. I'd spent the day listening to the wind howl and moan, but this was different. It was guttural and with the sounds of the wind, but not in sync. It caused a physical reaction. My heart started racing, and my stomach went into knots. I was tending to my two of my grandkids that were playing with flashlights, mostly shadow puppets, and I jumped to my feet and told them to hand me a flashlight and turn the other one off to shine the flashlight outside through the window. I must put it against the window or it just reflects back. To see out the window, all other light must be off. One of our dogs was barking furiously. Before I could tell my daughters what I saw, they tell me what they were experiencing downstairs, the two younger children and the dogs. Because the power was out, my youngest daughter was charging her phone in her car. She said she went out to get her phone off the charger and felt that somebody was watching her. The feeling was so intense that she stayed in her car a few minutes to look around and see if she could see anyone. When she got out to head back to the house, she only got a few steps away from her car when she heard the same sound that I had heard. She said that she was instantly terrified and ran into the house. The dog was in the window barking as she was coming through the door. My oldest daughter said that when she heard the howl, she saw her dog lift her head and look out the window, then stood up and started barking frantically. The dog was looking in the opposite direction than my youngest daughter, who had just started to run to the front door. Nobody wanted to charge their phones in the vehicles after that. This was not a mistaken identity about the sounds. We're in 30-mile-per-hour winds and 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a downpour of rain in December. I don't know of any animal, domestic or wild, that would be out in that weather. In the morning after sunrise, my oldest daughter went out to the trash bin that is next to the chicken coop, and she found the heavy lid was lifted off the bin and set on the back of the bin, opposite the direction of the wind had been blowing. 2 large bags of trash were missing, and there was a trail of trash into the woods. Oh, what a jerk move. The critters tear up the trash in the bin and pick out what they want. They do not carry 55-gallon trash bags home with them. There were no tracks of any kind because we don't have any sort of mud spots. It's either gravel or grass around that entire area of our property. Throughout the summer, they noticed odd chirping sounds after dark, identified as mountain lion. There you go. Creepy, a little creepy. That is really crazy. Wow. You just never know. They're out there, folks. The forests hunt. That's maybe why I called that episode tonight, The Forests Hunt. I'm really having an issue here. I've had an issue going on with my eyes all night. I don't know. They're really gummy, and I used eye drops, but they're just really like got a film on them. What do you do? Allegheny National Forest, Forest County, Pennsylvania. Well, let's check out that Pennsylvania stuff. Pennsylvania is just a hotbed for reports. Definitely on the top end of the reports in the states. Let's take a look. Pennsylvania, 181 reports. Allegheny has had 9 of those. Okay, let's take a look. See what these 9 are all about. Class A from 2012. I guess that's a good place to start. Then they're kind of out of order, though. I think that's in the order of being reported. Like somebody might call a message with something from the 70s, and then you go up to the 80s, and then 88, 97, 2006, 2004, 1971, 2012. So we'll just go to 2012, the most recent. See what is going on here for this Class A report. And at the end, the thing that I also like is at the end, the BFRO investigators actually weigh in and add their notes to these reports as well. So you get a real robust version of everything. All right, let's see what this says. Observed on March 4th, 2012 at approximately 8:30 a.m., I had a visual sighting It was cold, snowy, and a bit overcast and a bit windy, and approximately 28 degrees to 30 degrees outside. I was sitting in my mother's apartment on the 4th floor watching television, and I happened to look out the window, and I counted 15 full-grown turkeys moving down the hill adjacent to her apartment building. They weren't running, but they were not taking their time either. I'd like to say that this moment was not unusual to see 2 or 3 turkeys at a time coming down the hill, but 15 were out of the ordinary. Well, a short time later, 3 deer came walking down the hill in the same manner as the turkeys. Not actually running, but not walking either. I did not think anything unusual was going on. I was surprised at the number of turkeys at one time. I asked my mom, who lived there for several years, if she had ever seen that many at one time, and she said no. My mother, who is 80 years old, my wife, who is 38 years old, my son, who is 11, and I, 53 years old, watched the turkeys walk across the parking lot and out the site down by the church. I did not summon my family to see the deer, as the 3 deer were no big deal. Less than 5 minutes after the turkey and deer left the area, I was still sitting in my mother's room watching television when I caught a glimpse of something out of the corner of my eye. And I looked, and I saw a very large, very hairy animal that's known to me near the top of the hill. The animal was on all fours and near the top of the hill and took about 3 strides before it got to the top of the hill, stood up, and made a right and ran on 2 feet into the forest part of the field. It did not stand up fully erect, but like 2/3 erect. The total time I had eyes on the creature was approximately 7 seconds. And there you go. These sightings are not long. They're usually extraordinarily brief. 7 seconds, folks. Where the hell am I? 7 seconds. There it is. Since that day, I've tried to figure out in my mind what it could have been, and I have no answer, honestly. The best I can say is it looked like a gorilla. Please understand that when I was younger, I was a hunter. I did a lot of deer hunting and bear hunting in the Allegheny Mountains and have seen a lot of animals, but never seen anything like this. I was a police officer for over 20 years and have been trained in observing my surroundings and articulating reports. South Park is not far from my mom's apartment building, and it's full of wildlife and trees. And in my mind, I feel as though the creature was responsible for chasing the turkey and deer out of the woods. May have been very hungry and chased them too far, not realizing that it had made its way into a populated area. And when I saw it, it was trying to get back into the forest. Yep, kind of overshot it. I can see that. Sure, why not? Oh, man. My eyes are just really weird. Yikes. I am so done with this winter. I'm so done with winter. Come on. Bring the spring. I don't know. Anyway, kind of interesting, kind of fun to explore these and go through them. But I think it's good, and we'll continue to keep this as an option for future shows going through the BFRO and seeing what you guys think. But that's what we're going to do for tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's just a little jaunt across the North America and looking for reports. I don't think they have anywhere else. So they got North America. They have Canada. This is international. So they have 1 from Australia, 11 from China, 3 from Indonesia. Malaysia has 36. Himalaya has 10. Russia has 5, and other countries and regions are 6. So there's even some world reports here as well. Interesting stuff. But I'm going to have to excuse myself while I run to the loo quick. I'm going to splash some water on my face as well, try to get my eyes to clear up. But I'll be right back. In the meantime, I hope you'll enjoy some... Which one are we going to do? I guess we'll do this one. Here we go. It's time to take a break. Don't worry, I'll be right back. I just got to go use the loo and get some water on my face. Be right back. There we go. I think I'm better. I think I am. Still got that little cut. Maybe I just put my nose down. Can't even see it. All right. Sorry about that. I just had to use the Luquick, and I took some ibuprofen too. I got a bit of a headache. Still headaches. But anyway, it's maybe the dry air. Maybe it's dry air. Heaters, all that stuff. I'll take off my slippers too. I like being barefoot. That feels better. All right, so we have got through that segment. We're going to get to another segment that I hope... as far as I know, you guys are loving this segment. And, I'm glad you like that. Barbara says, I like this segment. Very cool. I appreciate that. I'm glad, it's something that we've done from time to time. It's not a regular segment on the show, but it's just kind of neat to just do a kind of a run across what we can look for reports and see what people are reporting out there. All right, Josie can get her dishwasher fixed now. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Hey, Flat Sixer. Good to see you. I suppose I should do shout outs. Who was here? Justin Goodrith is here. Car Juice is here. Barbara Mora is here. Over on the Rumble. Dog Digger's in there. Maybe. He was anyway. Dog Digger was there. I haven't seen him chatting anyway. But let's see who's in the YouTubes. Because those are the next. I should close that, but I'll just minimize it. I'll just minimize it because I got to go here and do a pop-out chat. And I'm going to look at participants on YouTube, see who's here. So if you want to shout out on YouTube, you got to type something. Otherwise, it's going to be a very sparse list if you haven't said anything for a while. If you want me to say hi to you, just say hi in the chats. Let's see who's here so far. Names are popping up now. Suddenly it's all populating. Adventures with Beth is here. Android Paranormal is here. Aussie Boss Tiger is here. Chucky Danger is here. Elaine Clifford is here. Flat Sixer is here. Jose is here. Josie's here. Lori is here. Owl Woman is here. Great to see you all. Planet X87 is here. Rachel Gets It Right. Shelley Montgomery. Supernatural Station. Mr. Jaron is here. T-Bone and Wizard Moon are the active chatters right now. If I didn't say your name, just type something in the chat. And I will see you. Did I say Shelley? Did I say Shelley? Yeah, Shelley Montgomery. Yep. Stony Jackson. Yep. Popped in now. Oh, man. No, you guys are flying in. Rachel Gets It Right. Who else? Aussie Boss Tiger. Yeah. You guys are still, you're still out there. It's just, I don't know why this list populates and depopulates so quickly, but it really does. And it only gives me a listing of active chatters, so I should do it closer to the beginning of the show, but good to see you, Daryl. Thank you for coming in, Daryl Stanley. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey, as always. All right, we're going to get to a segment of the show I think most of you guys have been enjoying, but if you're not familiar with it, it's called...
What the hell is that?
If I was a multi-man show, I could understand missing my cues, but it's my own cue. And all I had to do was click, and I clicked wrong. So I had to do it twice. But anyway, what the hell is that? This is a segment where we look at... Hi, Laura Gibbs. Good to see you. Timothman is here. Good to have you here, brother. And this is a segment where we showcase pieces of paranormal information or evidence, maybe. And obviously, everything can be AI. So, sometimes it's obviously AI, and then that's the right answer. But, everything can be AI. But could it be real too? Maybe. We just don't know unless you're the guy doing it. But a lot of AI really does have some pretty good tells. A lot of it does. But it's getting harder and harder to tell. So, yeah, AI is always a safe answer, and just you don't believe anything. And maybe that's the wise answer, but I do think that there's some great evidence out there online. I think you got to look for it. I think you got to, I like to look at older videos that are kind of predating AI, because that just makes it a little bit easier. Things that have been around for a long time, but we're going to go through a few of these and see what you guys think. The other part of this segment that's kind of fun, that one dude over here, how you doing? Made a live show. Sitting at LAX and watching. Well, have safe travels, man. Hope I don't know where you're going, but hope you get there and have a wonderful journey. I wish I was going somewhere warm. Sorry, I digress again. As you might not be able to tell, I'm not a big fan of winter. I don't know what my ancestors were thinking. Why did they stop somewhere cold? Just go south. Go to where it's warm. Could have done us all a lot of favors. But anyway, here we go. This is What the Hell Is That? And I've got several things pulled up for you guys to review to see what you think. And hopefully you think there's some good stuff here. I think all of it has merit. And a lot of it is very, very interesting. I like showing you guys videos, but I also like showing you guys ghost photos. I think ghost photos are a lot of fun because there's some great ones out there, I think. Some really good stuff. I'm just trying to resize this window as I'm talking to get it all set up for you guys to go over live on the show. All right, I've got one pulled up now. This is a photo. This has been around for quite a while. I know I've covered it on the show before when we've talked about ghost photos because I've done plenty of segments of just ghost photos through the years. I've been doing the show since 2016, so covered a lot of ground. But take a look at this picture. This is same. Well, yeah, maybe you can see it, but they can't see it yet. So let's see. It is the same picture. This is side by side, so that kind of makes sense. One segment is blown up in the other one, though. So anyway, here it is. You might be familiar with this one. The background is this was reportedly taken at Jasper, Alaska in 1942. The couple in the picture had just tied the knot, but it seems not everyone was excited about the wedding. Oh, thank you, Maggie. So here is the original right here with the man and the wife standing next to each other. And then here's the zoomed in part. And it's kind of weird, but once you zoom in, that's all kinds of disturbing and freaky. I'll make it a little bit bigger here. Look at that. What the hell? Talk about getting an attachment. And she's like all in, just reaching out like she's flying. Now, again, is this real? Well, I like this one personally. Not that my feelings should matter. I want you guys to form your own opinions based on your own merits or examination. But I like this one. I think it's very powerful and potential as legitimate. Obviously, this is more of a green scale. They kind of really cranked up the opacity to really show you what's there. But that really does look like, against this conifer. And it might be something like an arborvitae. It might be something else. But this is definitely a different texture with looks like fabric. A lot of the figure is obscured by the tree itself. Looks like one arm is back. The head is looking forward with a tongue or blood or something coming out. Very empty sockets for eyes. There's a nose bridge there that's pretty visible. And so I think it's a pretty good tell that it could be legit. But the question always is, what do you guys think? So in the chat, I want you guys to weigh in. If you haven't already, I'm going to go back and look at the evidence or what you guys have voted. But if you think it's real, give me a 1 in chat. If you think it's not real, give me a 0. If you think it's somewhere in between, give me a decimal point, like more towards 1, like 0.75. If you're thinking it might be real but not quite convinced, or where you're at with it, obviously lower for less convinced. So far, we've got, what happened? Mr. Dave Scott popped in. God bless you, sir. Appreciate it. Remember, after the show tonight, head over to Dave Scott's channel, Spaced Out Radio on YouTube, and catch his live show. Dave does it like nobody else. He is an exceptional talent and does a hell of a show. You'll love it. All right, so what we got so far is Supernatural Station. That's terrifying. She's really pissed off mother-in-law. That's true. Space Out Radio's Dave's not here. Oh, is he not here? I thought everyone was saying hi to him. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too literal. T-Bone might be yanking my cord. All right. Stony Jackson's all in on this one. Let's say I say one for sure. There's no lines that look like it's been, edited in. Yeah. It's very consistent in the pixelation. So the quality of the image is consistent. A lot of times with editing, if it's done by less skilled people, you'll see a definite quality difference between what's been edited in and everything else. but the pixels are consistent throughout this entire thing and the foliage in the background. So it's very convincing in that regard. What do we got? Jose is all in on this. Yeah, Carol, this picture has been around for a long time. It's might have seen it here on other shows for sure. Jose is all in. What do we got? 0.75 from Maggie. What do we got else? But even if it's fake, awesome because of the time of the picture. Yeah, fair enough. But I really like this one. Pixie Ranger's all in on this one. Josie's all in. 0.99 from Adventures with Beth. What do we got? Lori Gibbs, 1. Rachel's all in on this one. Kedstar's good with it. Wizard Moon believes 0.5. Hubby says 1. All right, way to go, Neil. I'm with you, brother. T-Bone's giving this a 101, and Supernatural Station 1. Chucky's not into this one at all. Chucky? What? What's going on, Chucky? Yeah, I think this one's good, but, to each their own. Could it be double exposure? Sure. Could it be a dark room magic? Possibly. I mean, that would share the pixelization then, but anyway. Daryl's all in on this one, giving it a 1. 0.5 from Aussie Boss Tiger. Rachel gets it right, gives it a 1. I'd be pissed too if I had wood located in the same area. I can't even touch that one. I can't say a thing about that one, Josie, without sounding absolutely inappropriate as hell. Barbara Moore is all in on this one. Dog Digger's halfway there. Car Juice is all in. 0.75 from Justin Goodearth. If it's real, it's very clear and creepy. Yeah. And it's also subtle. That's what I like about it. It's like, yeah, what I was thinking is it potentially some sort of nature spirit? Something that's perhaps attached to the tree or to the land around. Maybe another connection spiritually than that. But, it's human-like for sure, but it's also very unhuman in its, maybe not very, but it's got a really twisted visage. So it looks like a pissed off spirit of some kind. And I'm thinking usually the most pissed off spirits are nature spirits, but anybody's guess. So there you go. I think that's a good picture. It's very old. Again, 1942. That's in World War II era. So obviously there was a lot going on, but you be the judge. It's not my desire to try to convince you that things are real. I want you to have your own opinions. So there we go. That was this one. Let's get the next one queued up to go over that one. Oops, that's playing already. I don't want it to play. This one comes from Slapped Ham. Now, I love Slapped Ham. Callan from Slapped Ham, he always goes, you can watch more videos like this. That head cock that he does just cracks me up. Like this. I can't even pull it off and fake it good because it's so weird, but it's so funny and so quirky and cool. I love Slapped Ham. I've been watching it for years. Slapped Ham and Nuke's top 5 is my 2 favorite review channels for submitted or paranormal evidence. If you're not following either of those channels, you should, because there's some great stuff presented. There's also a bunch of junk presented too, but they're just throwing it out there and saying, what do you think? They're not trying to, testify that any of this is real. So just asking you to make your own opinions, much like I'm doing here on What the Hell Is That? So here's the video from Slapped Ham. We'll get into that right now, because here we go. It says Grim Reaper or satanic sighting in, what the hell is that? YYC? I don't know what that means. A man in Calgary. Okay, so it's Calgary. Films a horrifying sight outside his, I can't even read this because it's all over the top of that, but let's check it out. That's the picture. There's a woman, somebody there, a smaller person.
He stepped onto his balcony and looked toward a neighbor's house, and that's when he caught sight of something terrifying. Inside the house, you can see a long-limbed figure menacing over a person.
Look at the size of that shadow, though. And it's not really like a shadow against curtains where it could be, the figure's actually much smaller and there's a bright light and it projects it bigger under the curtains. I mean, because you can clearly see the person there, and he's normal person sized. But then there's this that's like standing up to this upper pane. So it's blinds. You can see the
Viewers
blinds.
describe the shape as a towering black shadow, more than 8 feet tall, with
Look at how long those arms are on that shadow too.
an outline eerily similar to a Grim Reaper or something outright demonic.
So there it is. I'm going to kill the sound now. You can watch it again. What do you think? What do you think? Are we looking at potentially some shadow being tormenting this person? The scary version is this guy's tripping balls on something, but what he's actually experiencing is not just a hallucination, because they're filming it as well. You know, like imagine this guy's just on some weird crap, but look at how it's kind of reaching for him, and it's like, oh, it's just really wrong. And that thing keeps swinging at it. That guy keeps swinging, like, get away. And it's like tormenting him. Aussie's all in on this one. Big 0 from Karen. Karen, you're a tough sell on a lot of these. I don't know what to show you to make it real. Karen's a tough critic. That's okay. Yeah, it's good to have your own opinions, but I like this one. I thought it was really creepy. What do we got? One, with the way he's being scared and the fact that he wouldn't know the person was filming, it doesn't seem like a hoax. Yeah, true. It's kind of creepy he's filming in his neighbor's house anyway, but if I saw that, I might start filming too, honestly. Adventures with Beth is all in on this. Karen gives me a 0.5, or Rachel rather gives me a 0.5 on this one. Lori Gibbs is a 1. Brother Blue Cruise, good to see you. Says T-Bone. Jose is all in. BJ Lapierre is all in on this one. 0.5 from Wizard Moon. Ked Star's giving this a 0.5. 0, but it's funny, Maggie says. Maggie's not buying this one either. It's funny? I think it's kind of terrifying. I honestly do. I think this one kind of freaks me out. That's a big ass shadow. I don't want to see something like that. Karen laughs. Android's all in on this one. Looks like a Demogorgon. Yeah. From the upside down for sure. What do we got? 0 from Chucky. Chucky's a hard sell too. Don't know. You guys are a tough crowd tonight. Josie's all in on this one. 8 out of 10 from Paramarv. It's actually a 0 to 1. 1 being, yeah, it's real. You think it's real, or 0, not so much. You're about 0.8. Fair enough. 0.8 from Sharon Sunshine. 0.788 from Flat Sixer. Blue Cruise is all in on this one. 1 more like needed for 60 likes. Oh, 1 more. Oh, I got you. I thought you were voting Android. But yeah, please like the stream if you guys are enjoying yourselves. It is if you're staging it. Yeah, I mean, could it be staged? Sure. Could, I guess. Anything can be. But it's just such a big shadow. That's what's so creepy about it. And that guy is so much smaller. I mean, he's obviously sitting down in the house, the guy, but you can see him kind of standing up and pushing back like, get away, get away. And that to me is very disturbing because, you know, I hear a lot of stories of dark spirits tormenting people. I've known people that have been tormented by dark spirits and seen stuff like this. And so, you know, maybe that's where it's coming from. But it's like you can even see a shine on the top shoulder and then the head kind of going forward. I don't know. It's very odd. It doesn't look human. It doesn't look human at all. Shadow is easy to make, to be fair. Yeah, but if you look, there's almost like you can see a light shining on the shoulder of this thing as well. Like it's not just a shadow, like it's more. I'm curious about where that elbow is actually. You look at where that elbow is and it's down by the waist of what the creature is. And that would put the proportions way out of people range. Our elbows don't go that low. Our elbows kind of take the bend at about the bottom of our rib cage. And then we have our whole, you know, diaphragm and torso before our hips, you know, and our hands end just below our waist, you know, in that area, upper thigh. So where these arms bend is so much lower, is what it seems to me. And that's maybe not human. So that's what I'm seeing. 6. That dude over here says 6. I bid $1, Bob. Hugh says, I'm not reading the rest of your name. I don't care about your genus. 0.5 from Elaine. 0 from the grieving model. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope you're okay. 0.5 from Daryl Stanley. Fair enough. All right. Just looking for any more votes. Okay. All right. I have 6.5. I don't know what that means. But I'm looking okay. 0.75 from Car Juice, scary looking. Barbara Morris says long arms. So what'd you guys vote? Barbara said 1. That person's huge. Yep. Okay. Justin Good Earth. If it's real, it's very clear and creepy. Was that the last one or this one? Looks theatrical to me. Justin Good Earth says 0. Okay. 0.75 from Car Juice. Okay. Dog Digger. Could that be a shadow? I think what we're looking at is blinds. So I'm not buying that this is a projected shadow. Because sure, you can blow a shadow up. You can make a shadow with your hand and make it seem as big as a wall with a close-up light and a far-away wall. So projecting a shadow that size is not. But those are slats of blinds. You can see the guy is not just a shadow. You can see the paneling color. You can see the tone of the wall above the wainscot there, if that's like a chair rail. I don't know. Or if it's above a chair rail, I don't know. But it's very, very creepy. Very big. I don't think people should be that big. So anyway, that's that one. I don't know. You be the judge again. I'm not pretending to know whether it's real or not. I'm just telling you what I see. And likewise, I appreciate you guys' opinion on this. Because you could be absolutely right. It could be absolutely a fabrication, hoaxy BS. And there's no way we could know. Okay, here we go. This one was posted by Matt Knapp. This one's going to be a little longer because Matt sometimes posts these historic accounts people have had seeing Bigfoot. This one maybe isn't as much of a voter, but I want you guys to watch it anyway. So whether you want to or not, here you go, because it's probably going to take the place of the Cryptid Corner anyway. Here it is. This is the Doolins Encounter. Matt Knapp posted on Bigfoot Crossroad Podcast on Facebook. Matt's a great guy. Please support what he's doing too. Wonderful guy. Great, good friend as well. So let's check this one out. Turn on the sound.
Campsite, speaking with Mrs. Florence Doolin. We're going to hear the true story of the Doolins encounter. Mrs. Doolin, how many years have you and your husband been camping in these mountains?
Gee, quite a few years, just as long as I can remember.
Now, in all the years that you've been camping, Mrs. Doolin, has anything strange or weird ever happened to you?
Not until recently.
This recent encounter is what we're interested in. Mrs. Doolin, I would like for you to tell us and tell our audience in your own words what happened.
We were driving through the mountains, and we decided to stop and fish for a while. And when we had gotten out of the camper, we looked over in the woods and saw this huge, hairy creature just standing there.
A huge, hairy creature. Now, would you describe him as an animal, something like a bear or something of that sort?
Definitely not an animal. The creature we saw was more like a human. He was huge, had this foul odor about him. We could smell it. And then his feet were huge, just a big man. I'd say 8 to 10 feet tall. He just really scared us.
At this point, Mrs. Doolin, did the creature come towards you or try to harm or attack you in any way?
I love how the interviewer looks at the camera as he's talking to her, who's right there. At this point, Mrs. Doolin, would you say, dude, make it look like a conversation for God's sakes.
Hey?
He just stood there, and it seemed like an eternity, but it was a matter of seconds. And we ran into the camper, started up the motor, and after the motor started up, he just disappeared in the woods. We didn't see him anymore.
After this encounter, Mrs. Doolin, do you and your husband come camping in these mountains?
Yes, we do. We do come back in the mountains, but we make sure we bring other people with us.
Mrs. Florence Doolin telling of their experience with a legendary hairy giant known as Bigfoot.
There you go. There you go. It's not really a voting kind of proposition, but it's just another report that's out there, the Doolins encounter. I don't know the date of this report. I don't know any specifics. Maybe Matt had it on the original post, and I lost it when I opened it up for this. But At any rate, very cool. I think it's fascinating and fantastic. Again, it's not any different than any sightings that would happen today. But it's cool that, it's another one recorded. So there you go. Not really a voting, but interesting nonetheless. All right, this is a little different. This one's a little different. Holy God. Why does it hold my chats like that? I hate that. Here's another one from Matt. This one's, Bigfoot Man or Beast, 1972. A girl befriends a young Sasquatch. So let's check this one out. Did I just screw it up? I had it queued to a certain point. Let's just watch. How long is the whole thing? Yeah, it's only 3.5 minutes long. Let's watch the whole thing. All right, here we go. Man or Beast. A girl befriends a young Sasquatch. Again, posted by Matt Knapp of Bigfoot Crossroads. Let's check this one out.
While you were gone, I was reading something roll rocks down from the top of the hill right up here. There was about 5 different intervals of it, probably 15 or 20 minutes apart. And then there was one time I heard rotten wood move, crash or something. So I don't know whether it was an elk or a bear or some other animal.
1972 this one's from. Yeah. Generally when something's throwing rocks, it's not an elk or a bear. But if it just rolled down, maybe.
Whatever it was, probably no doubt came up another side, because this side over here is a little on the steep side.
Yeah.
At the heat of this sun, though, most anything up there would be under those trees.
Yeah.
Probably was navigating under the trees.
They got more brains than we've got.
Could it have been Bigfoot? He's been known to throw rocks at people before. Or could the giant creature...
I love that droning one note. Oh, God. You know what I just did? I just closed the damn thing. What did I do? I just closed it. I'm an idiot. Hold on. I hit the X. I didn't mean to. I did not mean to. Let me do this. Let me go to the history here. I want to get to the actual story, though, from the girl. Damn it. It's not that one. Whatever. I think I lost that one now. Let me see if I can pull it up on Matt's page. Matt Knapp. I'll see if I can find it. It would probably be under a reel. Let me see if I can do that. Look under his reels. Where's your photos? Okay, let's look there. Where's your reels? Nope, it's not under his reels. Damn it. All right, well, I lost it. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to hear her account because I hadn't listened to it yet. So that's my fault. Sorry about that, folks. That was me screwing up the show. Okay, here we go. This one is a classic one. It's been around for a long time. It's called the Independence Day footage. This has to do with Bigfoot. A lot of people are all in on this one. And it could be legit. There was always something about it that felt off to me, and I don't know what it was. I really could never articulate it, but it could be the real thing. You may or may not have seen this before, but this is regarded as some of the better evidence out there, video evidence of potentially Bigfoot. So let's check it out. I want to make sure everything's fitting here. Let me shrink this just a little. There we go. That's got most of it. All right, here it is. This is coming from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. This is Kelly Shaw and his wife. They're really fantastic. They've been at this for years. They go to locations. They discuss a lot of historical accounts and happenings, and they do a lot of research of their own. And I've been a fan of Kelly Shaw's for, God, at least, I've been following him to a degree since before 2010, I think. Or right in that area. But Kelly's been at this for a long time. I remember watching Kelly's videos back when I was back in Minnesota before I moved out here. So it was probably like 2012 era when I was started to see his videos. But They do a good job. So please follow Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization, or RMSO, but find him on Facebook. It'd be well worth your time. Kelly's pretty great. And he appeared with Les Stroud on one of his Survivor Man Bigfoot episodes. Kelly did. So very cool. All right, let's check this out.
Watch in the foreground running to the large boulder steals the show when it picks up the infant and appears to run off in the opposite direction of the first one. It has me wondering if the Bigfoot appearing at the beginning in the background is a juvenile, or perhaps the mother of the infant may.
All right, so you can see the Bigfoot there, and that was Kelly talking. He's kind of reviewing it, that maybe there's another one that's not been pointed out before that he might have found himself, which is really cool. But this video is not Kelly's. This is somebody recorded it, I think it's in California. But here's the actual footage of the Bigfoot kind of meandering over, seeing that there's hikers in the area, ducks down behind this rock, comes up with what clearly is a juvenile, like a baby, and then carries the baby off. Now, I don't know what it is about this footage, but it always feels, I don't know, a little mechanical to me. But this is prior to AI. This is a long time prior to AI. So it doesn't mean it couldn't be CGI. Whoops. Doesn't mean it couldn't be CGI. But it's definitely prior to AI. So, I mean, it could be great footage. And maybe it's the exposure of the camera that's got me thinking that it's weird. But something about it doesn't seem as natural. And I don't know what it is. But anyway, let's look at what we saw. We're already getting people voting, so let's see what's going on. Go ahead and vote if you're ready. Jose is number one on this one, all in. 0 to dark with the lights. That is there. From Darrow Stanley. I don't know, that's pretty light as far as footage goes. Number one from Aussie Boss Tiger. I want it to be real. Yeah, I mean, me too. BJ Lapierre's all in on this one. T-Bone's all in. I don't think so. And if this is Les Stroud with Todd, no, it's not Todd Standing. It's Kelly Shaw. It's a different episode with Survivor Man. Same with yeah. Well, it's a mama. Obviously, it's got a baby, so it's a mama. It fits the profile of Squatch picking up a baby. 1 from Elaine, 0.5 from Grieving Model, halfway there. Chucky Danger's all in on this one, 0.5 from Maggie. Rachel gets it right, is halfway there. I'd love for it to be real. Sure, yeah, me too. Josie's not in on this one. Maybe 0.75 from Maggie. D Oceans is all in. Kedstar's 0.5. I have to say no, but I want it to be. Karen, everything is no. Come on, Karen, just ride the belief train. Choo-choo. All right, so Dog Digger, 100% Thinker Thunder review this in detail. The Real Deal California series. Okay. Yeah, I'd seen that Thinker Thunker reviewed this one as well. And I don't know what it is about it, but something about the Bigfoot just feels mechanical. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just always have been like, maybe. But it does look great. I don't know, something about it just feels not fluid. And that's just me. I'm just speaking me. 0.5 from Barbara. Car Juice 1. 1 from Justin Goodearth. I've seen this, but I like it. Oh, I have seen this, but I like it. This film is a bit choppy, but old stuff is. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great capture. If it's real, it's amazing capture. And that's definitely on par with the Patterson-Gimlin for sure. Can't see so much of the legs and stuff. Only for a brief second between those two boulders after it picks up the child and starts walking. But it is making good time. This, I think, is the one that Kelly thinks might be an additional one up here. And I don't know if it is or not. I don't know what that is for sure. But at any rate, very interesting stuff. Good footage. But I just wanted to see what you guys thought, honestly. Because you never know. Could be the real deal. Certainly is respected by a lot of people, and a lot of people are all in on this being the real recording. So I hope it is. Believe me, I really do. I love the fact that these things are out there. I think there's plenty of ample evidence to suggest they're out there, and this could just be one of the great captures of helping to prove they're out there. So But as always, you be the judge. There you go. This is going to wrap up the What the Hell Is That? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time with it. I like doing it. I like me some What the Hell Is That? What? Oh, you want to see the stinger? Here you go.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's the problem. And CGI can do amazing things. I mean, look at the Wookiees on the newer Star Wars films, the new 3 films that were made, the newer 3. Not the newest ones, but even, well, maybe. No, I'm thinking of the one where they went to Chewbacca's planet with Yoda and stuff, and it was basically the Clone Wars or whatever. But, you know, they can do great things with CGI, and it's not, there's a lot of talented people out there that can create amazing visuals and right in their own home on a laptop, honestly, with some of the programs out there. So this would have been a very early form of CGI, though, not so much the consumer era, because it's been around a long time and probably predates a lot of it. But I don't know. I want it to be real too, believe me. Love What the Hell Is That, Maggie says. Oh, thank you, Maggie. What the hell is that? Loves you too. All right, so we got just a few minutes left. Actually, we got no minutes left. We're going to, I guess, basically stop the show here. I want to give you guys time to get over to Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio. Hang out with Dave. If you haven't checked out Spaced Out Radio, guys, you're missing an incredible show. Obviously I'm friends with Dave, and so I'm obviously biased, but I'm also a person, I think, of objective. I have an objective nature when I recommend things, because I can't do it just because I like somebody. But I really like what Dave does on his show. He's a great interviewer. He puts on an incredible presentation, and he puts a lot of love and heart into what he's doing. So 3 full hours of paranormal, 40 and supernatural goodness waiting for you on Spaced Out Radio following the Paranormal Portal. So definitely go check out what Dave's doing. And that's all I can say. And Brent may be biased, but he's also right. Paramarv, God bless you. See you there, Brent. I don't know if I'm going to stop over or not, T-Bone, but maybe for a minute. I'm pretty wiped out. I can't sit at my studio much longer, but I'll be here for a little bit. Maybe I'll stop in. Oh, that's I was looking at this cord. Looked like it was part of my microphone cord on the wrapped around the microphone. It was wiggling weird, and I'm like, what the hell's moving that cord? But it's my headphones. Debunked. Nothing weird here. All right, that's all I got for you tonight, folks. I'll be back Friday and Saturday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope you'll be here with me. I always love it when we meet up again, and I'll bring the entertainment. You guys bring a friend, and I'll see you back here on Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wherever you're watching now, come back then. Until then, remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll talk to you Friday night, everybody. Good night. Love you, mean it.
Mm-hmm.